Hmm. How in the world do I shut the volume off with this? Hell? Why? QFX, what's up, man? Sorry, it's not. There it is. It's coming through. Okay. Sorry, we're setting everything up, so we're gonna get it. Can you hear me? Okay. It's a little bit different here on YouTube than it was on Twitch. Twitch thinks this is over. They couldn't be any more wrong. Okay. Let me actually send out a text. It's good? All right, good. Excellent. I don't think there's that much of a delay. It's a little bit different, like I said, so I just need to get used to a couple things until this is nice and smooth. I've streamed here before. It's actually a little bit smoother than it was before to set up, which is good. Let me check something really quick. If you're playing any music, though, it's not coming through. I'm not playing any music right now. I figure y'all can play whatever music you want. I can play some, but I can't do the popular music like I could on Twitch. I'll spare you the technical details, but I think I would get copyrighted here, whereas before I could send it through the stream, but it would not get recorded into Twitch. There's a way to do that, and that's how you get the copyright strikes, as if it records into the VOD over there. But here's a little bit different. Maybe there's a way to do it. I don't think there is. Look, I could play some music, but it would be the royalty-free stuff that I have, which isn't good. But you tell me what you want. If you want some music, I'll play some music. Play some Warcraft music or something. Wait a second. YouTube. Okay, it says I'm streaming essentially, but that's under the YouTube section, not the stream, which that's okay. Give me a second here. Yeah, I used to do that a lot because you know you're not going to get copyrighted with that, but not right now. This thing. There it is. Okay, here we go. Here we go back. Dimitri, your YouTube attitude vibe. You really like the YouTube attitude vibe. Arrogant, yet you 100% know what you're talking about. That's what you think. Thanks, man. I appreciate that, Dimitri. Thank you very much, man. We're going to get started paying. Sorry, I'm slow in getting to this right now because I used to be at YouTube, streaming on YouTube. I've always been on YouTube, but I went to Twitch to stream. Got kicked off. That's another story. And then I'm back here. So this first day back. Do it like Blizzard and only play the Lich King because even though they know that was their last good one. And then they, you know what they did? They blew up that city though in this expansion set. Dalaran is gone. I think that was a bad move, but what do I know? Yeah. Ah, it's the baby Band-Aid. All right, let's get this going. This is going to be a weird portrait. Because the reference is horrible. I don't have the size of the painting, so I couldn't scale it properly, so this is going to be weird. See that? Good. Y'all can see it better than I can. Right, so that looked kind of shit. Expected more from them. Oh, yeah, Dalaran blowing up. Yeah, it's whatever. Let's do this. Make it bigger. Life size. Do life size. Kind of. Should be about there. The cutscene's really the only thing that. Damn, this heart button. This is so annoying. They had left. Yeah. It's not good. It's not looking good. It's not looking good, man. Cheekbone, jawbone, jawline going down there. See, I think the picture might be like I corrected it, but it's either too squished or something's wrong with it. So, but this is, you know, what are you gonna do? This goes up there. This is gonna be, it needs to get bigger than I have it. Let's do that right there. That comes out slow. comes out this way, comes out there. This is coming out there. We're just blocking, simple blockings, and make sure the shoulders fit too, actually. So if I want the shoulder here, I need to actually scale this to the shoulders, I think. Shoulder. Okay, so the head can't be that big. It needs to come in some. I didn't put the shoulders in the picture y'all see. I just zoomed the head in because everything's, at least on my screen, it's small, so. Just a second. Woo! All right, I'm gonna bring this in. Probably bring this up. It's gonna be here. That works. There. Shoulder to shoulder. So that. Boom! Pitch. There. So it's a little bit. Put that out. Way down. I just, but his face, like in the photograph, it looks like, you know, it's kind of distorted. This is a painting of a painting. And the problem is, just because it's an older painting does not necessarily mean it's a good painting. That might not be, because his face is weird. It's like, I don't know if somehow that's the picture, but I corrected it. I corrected the perspective in it, but then normally you want to correct the perspective and scale it properly. But whether it's too thin or too tall or whatever, that distortion doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know. I don't know. So I said to myself, I'll correct this. But every time I do, it brings up an array of problems that makes things 50 times harder than it has to be. The skull is coming through. Oh, you mean like just his features are very prominent, and so the skull is coming through. I like that. It's kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, it is. I mean, it's different. So, in other words, I have to kind of put morphs into this, which I hate doing. I hate doing morphs. Morphs. Always comes back to the morphs. Let's just do this. Yeah. Hey, QFX, Zerx and I fought double rank 1s. I mean, they were like 8-time, 9-time rank 1s, 12-time multi-glads. They were going double maged. Mage. Guess what rating we fought them at? Don't say 1200. It wasn't 12. It was 16, I think it was like 1640 or something. 1640. That was amidst the multi-glads we were fighting too. It's cray-cray. It's mucho cray-cray. Needless to say, we got smoked, but that's okay. That's how we learn. That's how we learn. Blizzard is incompetent. You know, this is good that I'm back on YouTube with streaming. I feel like I'm thinking more about what video I want to make and how stupid I want to act in the video now, instead of, you know, I'm doing the class drawing videos. I have plenty of those coming up. Plenty. A lot. But I need something more. I saw US has around 200 to 300 less rating in all brackets. Yeah. Look, I guess I don't care so much about rating. I do kind of wish that I was able to get the Transmog set. obviously it's nice being able to get rating. And it's nice being able to say I got rival. But at the end of the day, I'm okay with not getting it. I really am. But I do wish that they would at least, like, because the rewards are at 1,800. And the glad mount, forget that. I can't get that. But rewards, dude, I don't know. It's just coming out something like that. This whole thing needs to get slightly smaller if I'm to fit the shoulders in. Unfortunately. That's there. Then this is coming in some. That would come in just a. Well, no, that wouldn't come in. This is mainly just this one. So this is the drawing stage. We just want to take our time with this stage because I'm getting a lot of practice. I like playing these players. It's actually a real privilege to play against a lot of them because they're so damn good. And so you get better. But I want to be able to get the rewards for it. It's not cool if you can't. There's no incentive. I mean, to play aside from just get better, which is very hard to do actually. No, I didn't play with him on the weekend. It was just me and Zerks. I played with Gun Club, who's on here every once in a while. But I healed for him. It's fun. I love doing it. It's fun. But I mean, yeah, everything is very. It's something else right now. Let's just put it that way. Here, cut that in some. Bring this down some. Head comes in. Okay, I can't make the same mistakes that are actually in this. Okay, so I'm gonna have, like I said, I'm gonna have to morph this. Crockett, what's up? You missed the 5 rogues in North last night. Sorry, I got back later than I thought I was gonna get back, and then I had to put Dad to bed. And to be honest with you, I said to myself, it was like 10, and I could have probably gone in at that point. I think y'all might have been in your last game, and I heard you got DJL. But to be honest with you, I'm just so bored right now with it. All we do is sit in queue. That's it. That's all we do is sit in queue. Does that look good? No. Might take a little bit. Okay. Wait. I think what he wants, you know what, I might actually enlarge this a little bit more because I think what he wants probably is the face at the sacrifice of part of the shoulders. I think that's what he would want. I would want that. It's okay if the shoulders go off some. So I'm just going to make this a little bit larger. What rating are you rolling around at with Gun Club? Well, we haven't played that much. I think we could probably get to around 1,600, maybe not though. That's really hard now. But we're low 15s, I think. I'm not sure exactly what we're at. Jeffrey, my dear boy, how's it going? The reference is cool. You like it? I think it's horrible. We did have massive queues, the best queues, longest. I guess I'm a little bit tired of it right now. And to be honest with you, like look, the last 2 months have really worn me out for reasons I won't really get into, which I probably will because I always get into them, but I'm going to have the intention of not getting into them, right? It's not a big deal. Anyway, worn out. And at the end of the day, I don't want to freaking waiting queue all day. Don't want to. It's so boring. What am I doing? So boring. Potential's wasted. I think you can get higher if you heal and play with good DPS. I mean, I could get, yeah, sure, but like, Yeah, I'm sure I could. But again, like Xerxes is good. He's not, I'm decent. Join me in BSG. We don't allow long queues. I know. Well, so the other thing is, Crockett, is that, and I've told Oka this, I'm not a big fan of like pre-mating all the time. I'm just not. It's boring after a while, especially, BSG, those are the big guns, like they go in there and smoke everybody, and you're mainly fighting pugs, even though they'll fight whoever, but it's mainly pugs. And so that's why it's just, for me, that's why I like doing the arena and stuff, because it's so challenging. Okay, so if I plumb line this down, this part goes through this part in the photo, but I'm going to move this over some because I'm trying to correct some of the perspective warp of the face. Now, this might get me in trouble, but that's my middle name. But I think I can pull it off as well. We'll see. Maybe not. Maybe not. You have to have the nuts as a painter to do these things. Xerx can't carry you to 2K as heal, though he did the damage. He might, well, I don't want to get carried. You understand? Like, I'm not looking for rating like that. My thing is, I think it's just bad for the game that they have rewards behind. Sorry, I know this looks very strange. I'm shifting all this stuff right now. That's why I'm trying to like correct the proportions of the actual reference photo, which I swear is not. This cannot be right. So, like 1800, that's when you get your set. But it is so hard to get the 1800. So the skill to get the reward, that is a moving goalpost every single season. Every season. Because it's getting harder and harder to get. That's what I don't like. They should, I'm actually going to move this over just a little bit because it is on the side. They should do something about that. But if I'm a 1300 rated player, I don't need my ego stroke to say that I'm a 14. If I'm 13, then put me at 13, fine. But the rewards, it bothers me because the participation is so low and the rewards are already just pathetic and they won't even change it for how hard the season. It's just a bad design. That's my point. That's what I'm saying. It's a bad design. It's not that big of a deal. There are worse things, and it's a transmog. I probably will look and be like, I want that, and never use it, like I do with essentially everything in life. Everything. What are you gonna do? I still think the head needs to be bigger. See, I'm trying to envision this. And so what y'all can't see is that this is actually a longer board. It's a longer board. It's like, I mean, it's big. So, gonna make it a little bit larger. You need a really good solid DPS in twos. He can tell his heals when to throw CC when he needs it. You just need to survive, basically. Yeah, I did some World PvP the other day going after the bounty people. I died a few times. There were 2 of them. See, that's fun though, right? I can hear you, you small PP voice. There we go. It's starting again. I think that hairline is too low. His is really high. Yeah, it is. It is. I'm still working this out. The whole thing. I'm still trying to place the entire face. I'm going to make this actually a little bit larger. The whole thing. Put that up. I'm just trying to look. So I'm basing the composition around the face instead of also the shoulders, right? So this, I'm going to actually bring this out some, so the ears out some. So this is going to look extremely awkward. at first. But we can't have anybody freaking out over this, okay? Can't have anybody freak. This is what I'm saying, like, you keep in the basic blocking stage. But while I'm trying to place this, bring that up a little bit more. And then this piece, I'll bring that up. Even more still. There we go. That's looking a little bit better. It's closer to what I want. If the frame's gonna be right there, this is where I probably want it. And then this is coming out. Shoulders coming there, and then that's kind of coming down. This piece be coming out just a little bit more. That's still looking okay. Let's go across. There. That's about there. And that comes up. Wait. It does come over, but I'm trying to fix the perspective. So, yeah. Coquette, I don't know. Nothing is, I don't feel like doing anything at the end of the night. I'm just so incredibly bored with it, the whole thing. I really am. I find no joy, no meaning in anything that I do. It's just not fun, man. But yeah, I meant to be there last night. I really did. I'll be there next week. It's not like a normal thing. So the stream been it's been smooth, right? Okay, we haven't had anything cut out. I think it's been pretty decent so far. So I need to do these things since I'm obviously switched this up. It's just a bit long. Let's go into the mirror early. I really want to make sure these proportions are correct. It's looking good. Awesome. Okay. It's too high. This part drops. That is wrong. Okay. Shit. It's better than Twitch? You think so? How's it better than Twitch? I watched some 1 month old AWC. There was Boomkin team which destroyed the other teams. Really? Was he Feral? Feral's really good right now. By the way, he wants me to downplay this part right here where it's like that deep groove. Which is actually the part that I like, but that's okay. Is this your grandpa? No, this is my client's like great 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 grandfather or something. So it's one of his relatives. Soften. It's over. Let's get that more. Goes up a little bit more. Goes over. Let's keep on bringing this up. You know, let's bring it up a little bit more. Let's do this. Basic. So about there. About that, and then it comes out. Okay. Now we can shape it. Just a little bit, and then this. Okay, so I'm starting to flirt with that perspective issue right there, so I need to be careful. Boomkin, Rogue, and probably Healer, Monk. Monks are really solid. It doesn't stop as easily. That's good. Okay, Crockett. Or Dragon. Don't remember the Healer. Yeah. Well, so, I mean, look, if I was really, really, really wanting to get 2K, I would be taking it way more serious than I am. I would be playing way more than I am. And I would be trying to go after like the solid comps, right? And I'm not, and I don't want to. I don't need to do that. But you know, it's just, I think it's just very poor game design when like you have to do that just to get like a basic reward for doing it. That's my complaint. All right, I'm gonna try to fix the perspective warp a little bit here. Which y'all see it different too because the camera's over some, but you know, you know that already. Sorry, probably blocking the camera. Yes, I am. Try not to. Don't know why I'm whispering. And Healer Monk seems to spice to start bubbles, and it's already 1.5 minute cooldown. Kind of crazy. You can bubble every go. So the problem is I can't tell you how many times I've set up everything. We've set up everything perfect, absolutely perfect, except there's like a small gap in CC, and he gets a bubble off and saves the DPS who has like 5% health at the last second, multiple times a game, and that just it makes you better. It makes you better, and that's why I like this. It really is. This is the type of stuff that makes you better. And I've noticed that too. That if I go into any other part in the game, I do pretty good because of it. I like it. I enjoy it. There's a lot, but I'm also spoiled because, like I said, I play with Xerxes, and he's unusually patient, and not everybody's like that. You know, he's solid. He and I are around the same skill level too, which helps. You know, like we're both of us have a lot to learn. But so I'm a little bit spoiled there. If you look at that, it comes down like that. This is here. Oh, I fixed that though. I brought that up. That's right. Okay, so I need to. Okay. Bring this here. This is coming up. Paladin was balanced, which was self bubble. Paladin was balanced, which was self bubble, throw out a bop, but that shit is just throwing out bubble 3 times per match. Yeah. Paladin's like a good healer too. You get past their bubbles, right? And you can probably bring them down, but they also have pretty strong heals. There's some things, especially if they're managing their cooldowns properly and they keep the Avenging Wrath and stuff available, that'll heal them right up to full, which is great. But you have dampening, so that's where the mouth is. It's going to be up here. This is where I want this. That's looking pretty good. That's about the size that I want. Let me actually do a slight block in here so I can see. There we go. Block this in slightly. There we go. Ooh, there was some double lock in Healer Monk team, which was just on perma bubble every go. The lock bubbles, and if those ran out, the monk bubbles. I know it's stupid. And so my thing is, the only way I've been successful, unless the warlock's like horrible, is I start on the warlock and then I hard switch to the healer and try to catch them off guard, and killed them several times actually doing it this way. Because it's easier, in my opinion, especially later on in dampening when they're not expecting it, to kill a healer than it is that warlock, because they are so tanky. And that bubble it's probably like, I don't know, a minute cooldown. Their wall is ridiculous. It is just stupid. It's dumb. Dumb. Just block this in like this for now. Just impression. We're just going for the basic impression. Start carving this out afterwards, making us feel good like we have the features. We'll do that in a little bit. I like the eyes, man. Eyes are pretty cool. Nose is a little bit short on mine. I'll bring it down some, just a little bit, I think. Lock bubble absorbs like 20% of their life. Is it? Do you have the tooltip up? They have all sorts of stuff, man. Which is pretty much the damage. Offensive cooldowns. 20% is not that much. Mage, we have a 60% every 2 minutes. That's greater invis. They'll reduce the damage you take by 60% for 4 seconds, which I hardly ever use. And this is what I'm talking about. See, the nose does come down some. I need, there's things that I can do to improve upon in my own gameplay. And that's why I love it. I like the challenge. I really like the challenge. Let's drop that just a little bit. I love those types of challenges. Drop this. The jowls going. You don't have it? Okay. Yeah, it's okay. Ah, shit. See, when I'm doing this, I'm continuously trying to I'm trying to correct that distortion that we talked about because it feels like the face in the reference photo is going over like that. And so I'm drawing this, and as I'm like going through, like for example, the way I draw, I see like, for example, this line coming through the underline here, under the socket, right? There's that, but then there's this one that shoots straight up, and you can follow it through to this point up here. And so when I start correcting these points, like I start seeing, all this stuff, like you can see this like coming up there, and then there's this piece like that, like I see these relationships, and it's hard because like I start putting this in, but then I'm like, okay, but I have to alter it. And so I'm having a little bit of a hard time with that. Fix it on Photoshop. And I know I thought about doing that, but I didn't know how to. I was trying to this morning and I was like, damn it, I can't get it. I was. And then I was like, I know I'm going to go in here and do what I'm doing right now is start, have trouble, and then whine and complain about it. That's what I'm doing. That's my strategy behind it, okay? Just let me have that. I saw Hunter has the glyph or whatever that gives them 90% damage reduction for 2 seconds on feigned death, and also seems nuts. I didn't know that there's a glyph that does that. I didn't know glyphs did that. What the hell, Blizzard? Hi. They hate mages. Hunters, and they love deers. Who I don't know where that jerk is. The perspective is noticeable. I can do it for you. Could you? All right, do it. Take that. I can send it to you. I'll send it to you in Discord. You can do it later. Oh, there's always, every time I look, they're buffing Marksman. Every single time. It's always something. If it's a small buff or something, Marksmen just eat us for breakfast. They eat pieces of shit like us for breakfast. I'm bringing this out. Y'all can't tell, but no, I'm not fixing. I was going to say y'all can't tell, but I'm fixing this. I'm not fixing it. I'm still failing at this pretty hard right now. But do I look daunted? No, I don't. Why? Because I'm an expert. I've been here several times. I know what I'm doing. Huge brain. Chiseled abs. And a very good outlook on life in general. Send it. I'll send it, but not right now. I'll send it. I'll send it in a little bit. You made a bump now? What do you mean I made a bump now? Are you gonna micromanage, critique me in the midst of me doing this? I make a little thing here that I might change. You're like, wrong? Is that what we're gonna do now? Feel the portrait. And that's gonna come over some. This comes over just a little bit. To dominate the swordfish, only then can you saute it. For your mom? So you think that by critiquing me like an idiot, and it is like an idiot, that's a service to your mom. You gave it a bump. That's for you, Mom. Hal was the best in this. Yeah, she was. She's too lazy to freaking tune in. That's what's happening. Stepping back more anyway. Gosh. This whole thing is wrong. It's okay. Never give up. It actually drops down significantly. Yeah, Hal was very good. What did you talk about with Oka on that call? We're talking about just some plans for pre-mades going forward, essentially. She probably is waiting on Twitch for nobody tell her anything. She's not waiting. She never even, half the time she was never even there. She'd pop in for like 5 seconds, insult me mercilessly, and then just disappear to go continue eating her freaking Cheetos or whatever she's eating that makes her the hog beast that she is. See, she's fun because you can say whatever you want to her and she'll dish it right back. She's not like, I'm so offended that you said that. Well, what does she do now? She doesn't, well, I don't know. I haven't talked to her. I mean, she's kind of around. She sends me stuff on Instagram all the time. It's the weirdest stuff too. Did you shoot out oh damn, I got banned during that? No. No, I was talking to Oka. I was like, well, I got banned. And I actually said that I was glad that they did it because I wanted to be, that's the only time you can directly write them and have them read something. And so I wanted to tell them, look, this keeps on happening. Can you please just mark my channel so that like you know it's classical work because you keep on saying that it's a mistake. And then they responded with, your appeal has been denied. And so they had changed their terms of service up, and I didn't see it. And even that was vague. If you read it, it was like, you can't, they were saying you can't, essentially they were saying you can't do any like nipples or anything like that, no matter what medium. But before that, it was fine as long as it was like class, like the type of medium. They said they took into account the intention, right? Like literally that was in the terms of service. It was still very vague, but they were getting the point across saying, you know, like essentially saying, as long as you're not trying to do pornography, like, it's obvious when somebody's trying to do that, right? And then they just changed it to this thing where it was saying you can't do it in any medium, but it's okay if you show public art or nudity, like if it's like something, if it's public art. Well, it's like you're still showing nudity on there, and public art is okay because people recognize it as this is classical art or this is this type of art, it's art or whatever, but yet you can't do like physically do that on Twitch. What they should do is mark some channels, say this is okay to do it here, okay to do it here, but if they start making like pornography or whatever, I mean, there's ways that I think of going about doing it that's more productive than what they did. So I wasn't surprised. I mean, I was surprised when they denied that. I wasn't surprised that I got banned because that's happened like 5 or 6 times. And the last 4 times have been indefinite suspensions. But I was surprised when they denied my appeal. And I was angry for probably about 2 hours until I said, because because I was already thinking of coming here because I think YouTube is better for streaming art than Twitch is, but I like Twitch community and stuff too. And I don't always like putting all my apples in one basket. If I get banned here for some stupid reason, right? Then where do you go? You know, you always want to kind of diversify, which I can still do. But I think it was a good move. I was still considering doing it. I'd been over there for 5 years. And that's frustrating to me, is the fact that I spent 5 years trying to grow a channel. And just as it was starting to get some solid views, for Twitch at least, and the art section, then they pull that shit. And that pissed me off a little bit. But aside from that, I just, it's all good. No, I didn't throw paintings. I'm pretty good at keeping my temper in check. What was it I threw paintings? I think I threw. Oh yeah, I remember. It was when my computer died. Everything was going wrong that day. I had put so much pressure. I was trying to get a video out for Halloween that I couldn't, like, it was just, everything was going wrong and it was just a joke. And it got to the point where I cracked and punched the painting and threw it across. I hit another painting and had to repair it. That's what happened. That's what happened. And so, you know, not good. But whatever. Okay, focus, 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 focus. Focus. Okay, I'm going to bring this out a little bit. And then I'm going to bring this out more than it should be. Here's the thing, I can always correct it to what it is in the photograph. I can always go back to that. You know, but I think that's actually closer, and then I'm going to soften that. And then I'm going to bring it out just a little bit more. Let's fix this drawing up just a little bit. We're going to get the eye socket, this piece, which is going to be coming down more than I have it. Oh, I see what's happening. Okay. It's over some. That's seeming about right. A rage on occasion if things don't go my way. That shit's testosterone fueled. I tell myself the same thing. But you're probably, it's true. I mean, look, it's you need a vent and you have your limits and stuff. I try not to do it because I know it's downhill. You know, it created more work for me. It just made life harder. But, you know, we're human. This stuff happens. Diminished trust. What's up, man? Tyrannica. I found a new home. What's up, man? How are you? No, I used to stream back in the day here. I like streaming YouTube. And they made it a little bit easier to do it now, which is good. There's OBS. I think the integration's a little bit easier. The only thing is the music. Don't have that running, obviously, but this might go over some. I might widen this up some. What do I think? I'm correcting the perspective on this. Tyrannica, man. Delark. Horrible, man. Oh, that guy. I didn't know he was sick. I did not know he was sick. That was very kind of his brother to get on and tell us. But that was not. I don't like that. I don't like hearing that. I really don't like hearing that. Sobering news. Just a cool guy, man. What are you gonna do? I don't need to do too much detail with that yet. Okay. But yeah, things are good. You missed a good time last night. That's what I heard. Every time I'm not there, something like this happens. That's okay though. All right, so this is coming in there. Okay. Let's start working this just a little bit. I'm gonna bring this out. Slight changes. You made a bump on it. All right, Jeff, I'll see you, man. Wait a second. When's your birthday? Did that new guy show up that Thursday? No. I love how you keep asking. Nah, he didn't. It's all good. I'll get more people in here. I'll get more people. I'm trying to get more. I need to get more models. And you know what? I'm gonna go to Craigslist and put models up. That last time I did that, I got a lot of people. Tomorrow, all right, man. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Don't do anything stupid. I'm gonna be 20. So miserable, dude. 20. 20 is not bad at all. It's all in your head. Trinica. I know. It's you know, Jeff, you're fine. You're gonna be okay. You're going to make it. You're going to make it. Give anything to be 20. I know, right? 20 is not bad. 20 is not bad at all. Bring this out. I'm fixing the perspective work a little bit. Perspective. Okay. I'm really trying to like understand his anatomy and just put it in a little bit more, I'd say conceptually. That's not what I'm thinking. I'm just not, I guess I'm not straight up just copying over what I see. I'm really trying to understand it a little bit more than I normally do, to be honest with you, since I have to pull this off. So you can get away with sometimes just working the proportions, lengths, widths. You'll still look like it, but you need to understand it. Boaz, what's up? Excelente trabajo. Jeff, that means excellent work, my friend. Someday, maybe somebody will tell you that. Happy birthday, by the way. I'm going to die of 20 wish illness. But I was just saying that your work is excellent. I know, man. Trabajo. Thank you. I appreciate that, Boaz. Yeah, I mean, I know some Spanish. I just, not a lot. I took it in high school, but it's like, I don't know. It was hard. Nobody ever learns to speak it. It's like you learn it for a test, but you don't know how to converse, right? Like nobody does. It's kind of stupid. Been waiting for a portrait. Anti-champion, what's up, man? Yeah, well, here we have it. Up your twos, trabajo. Yeah, I know. Hey, I'm trying. That's what I told you I'm trying to do that. All right, man. Work is what the Mexicans are always asking for, you say? It's funny. All right. Jeff, I'll see you, buddy. Jeff is from Peru. Peru. All right. Let's see if I need to fill that out more. What time is it? Let's get in today, man. I tell you. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. Okay. This isn't correct. But threes is a little bit better than twos is. Twos is probably the worst thing you can probably do right now. Jeff, I'll see you, buddy. Grateful work. There you go, man. I mean, anybody should be grateful for work. I'm grateful for getting this stuff too, man. Everybody needs work. Everybody needs work. There we go. I like doing threes. And Gears is the person to do it with. He can explain everything, what's happening. He's solid. I like him. He's good. There we go. Might be too much, maybe. That comes out some. I just keep on messing with. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. There's a disconnect to reconnect. Hopefully that didn't mess the stream up. Probably easy with Gears. Had guidance in threes to get 2K, but he's probably tight on time too. Peter Mood is my client's great grandfather. So it's essentially one of his relatives. So my client he's trying to document as much history as he can, and he loves my work because most of the time I give him what he wants, right? With the style that he wants and so on and so forth. All right. You know. So I'm very fortunate to have somebody who is giving me the work that he is, especially right now because I can't. Okay, so this area right here is too thin, and that might be too thick, so this actually might go over that way just a little bit. And if I'm looking, this does go over some, I think. But let me step back. See, again, I'm trying to fix a perspective warp. That area in the light is too thin. And so this is why you don't go into color. One of the things you want to make it look exactly like it, but you got to get the structure down first. Was that the Twitch adult content alarm going off? That was it was the computer telling me OBS had just disconnected and reconnected. So that's why I wasn't sure if we were getting cut off. That guy must be balling if he can commission paying one after another. Yeah, he is. I mean, the man is an extremely hard worker. He's a doctor, but he's a very hard working doctor. He's a very good doctor. He really is. He is a hard-working man because he's like 85 and he's never sitting down. He's never just chilling out. He's working at the VA even though he's retired. He has a vineyard which he started. He's restoring like his the houses. He's commissioning this work for me. He's doing research. Like, the man is more active than most people in their 20s are. He's extremely disciplined. And so he deserves every penny of what he earns, in my opinion. That man, very hard worker, old school. I'm very, very fortunate to know him, to be honest with you. Very fortunate. Yeah, he can afford it. All right, he can afford it. Brought that over some. Lost the drawing in the process, but that's okay. Let's say this there, and then that. I mean, the jaw. Let's work this into the rest of the painting here. Here, coming up. This is something that I might actually, I'm going to put in, but I might take it away after a while. So I think it's more flattering without it if I just trim that jaw up a little bit. See, I know what my client wants too. I know what he wants. He might actually appreciate that, but who knows? Comes over, and then this is going to go over just a little bit too, but not so much. Now, what exactly do you get again after hitting 1.8? You get the full set of the gear, the look for the rival gear, and you get a title, but it's only for the season. So Xerxes and I got rival like not last season, but the season before that. We got it with 1 hour to go, so we had the rival title for 1 hour. And we'd never fought so hard. We played like, I think we played like 1,000 games or something, probably over. I mean, a lot. And we had rival for like an hour, like logged off. It was really funny. But you get a set saying rival and stuff. It's a certain color. No power, only aesthetics. But the aesthetics they've been pretty cool. Like, I've liked how they look. And actually, I checked how the mage looks. Mage looks pretty good. And so, here's the thing. I think you get like the head and the shoulders at 1,800. So at like 14, you get like boots and pants or something. 16, you get some, and then you finish the set at 18. So it's like you awkwardly have most of the gear, but to get the rest of it, you need these pieces. Dumb. And if you don't have the shoulders, then what the hell? Shoulders, you can go without the head. Like power from certain ratings, yeah. But the problem with that is that like that's when you start having the rating gating, like with these people who are just freaking awesome, and you have to beat somebody who's now better. They're better skilled to begin with, but now they have an advantage in power, and so then there's this wall, and then that makes people want to get carried. When you got 2.2K weapon, you just destroyed the plebs. Exactly. It's fun for the people who get it, but for everybody else, it sucks. And that's me. Sucks. Okay. It does. It's not a good design. So, like, you would have liked Shadowlands because Shadowlands really had that design philosophy. And that's when there was a mass exodus of people. And if you looked, it was all carries and stuff. And if you looked in Group Finder, it was only carries. It was like professional carriers, like will pay. They were actually advertising. I don't know if it's RNT, but they were saying like, for gold and this and that. But Well, it sucked for everybody else then, but I think it was a good design. Right now, there's zero motivation to get 2.2K. Um, well, they can they can put they can put rewards in that people want. I mean, they don't have any rewards. There's no rewards at 2.2. Well, bragging rights is not enough. Apparently, people are quitting. There's no rewards in PvP. You look at PvE, they're swimming in it. They swim in rewards. They have multiple transmog sets, all this bullshit every single year, every single like they have raids, they have new content, all this stuff. PvP doesn't get anything. We're the victims. This is so bad. We're the victims. True debt. I mean, so last expansion though, QFX, didn't they get rid of resilience and replace it with crazy stamina buff so you could basically use a PvE weapon for the cost of some stamina? I know they got rid of resilience, but the PvE weapon. Okay, so I think you can use like PvE weapon, but it has to be like of mythic quality or whatever, like raid quality, because what they have now is gear PvP gear scales up to a higher item level in PvP. So if we want to do, which I think is a good design, if we want to do PvE content, we have good enough gear to get into it, but you can get better raid gear that's better for raids, but the PvP gear is going to be better for PvP. But last time last expansion, you got an entire set of gear. Like if you hit 1600, you would upgrade your piece. You'd be able to upgrade all your gear to a higher item level, and it kept on doing that like 16, 17, 18 or something like that. So there was such a huge discrepancy. It might not have been like every level. It was like 1600. There's probably like at each milestone, I think you could upgrade it. So you had these gladiators decked out in this gear that were just like crushing people, and they'd be playing in lower levels. It was horrible. A guy is doing all that at 85. I don't like, yeah, exactly, anti-champion. He does a lot. I don't like that getting rid of resilience bullshit. I mean, yeah, I can see that. I wouldn't mind if it came back. I don't care as much. I just think they need to be incentivizing people to play for whatever, however they want to do that. Like, and like I said, I would be making, like, do new battlegrounds, like, do an invasion of a city or something. Incentivize people to do some world PvP. That gets people into PvP pretty quick. I remember like the invasions of the towns. That was fun. That makes things feel alive. I really think they undervalue PvP content, and because they have I think they're mistakenly looking at it like it's just side content that's, not for everybody, fine, but it's what makes everything seem, it gives everything life. It really does. That's how I look at it, and I am always right about everything, so, that's it. End of discussion. How many times have I changed this hairline? A lot. Changed it a lot. And they took away PvP damage and PvP damage reduction and gave you more stamina. Okay, so they gave you versatility, which reduces the damage taken and increases the amount of healing and the damage that you do. So versatility is essentially like an upgraded resilience is what it is. And that is more in PvP. That's better for PvP. That's more of a PvP stat. And that's also in all the PvP gear. So you'll have versatility haste, versatility crit, whatever. So you're getting a lot of versatility in that gear. In addition, the gear scales up in PvP. So if you, in the world, start fighting somebody, you have that gear that just scales up. So it's a better system. But I hear you with the resilience. I hear you. I can relate. I was wondering what that was. Yep, that's what it is. So resilience is still kind of there. But there's diminishing returns, I think, past like a certain percentage. So once you get a certain percentage of, and normally I think it's like around 30, but I don't know. That I'm confused on because I'm not like a theory crafter with this stuff. But again, like, okay, I talk about this more than I actually play the game. It sounds like I play it all the time. Wrong. I'm trying to play it more. I'm literally trying because I think at this point it's good like mentally for me to have an escape. Because life's too serious and it drives you nuts after a while. It's true. So, be good to play. This is starting to look more proportionate. I brought the nose over that way some. This, and I think I fixed the perspective warp in it. Okay, because this point here, you would have this piece actually cutting in and this piece cutting in, so this would be pushed back that way, but I purposefully brought it out that way some. So that's what we're doing here. So I am fixing everything with my gigantic brain. Okay, very easily for me to do. Very easy. Just a genius. That shit was already 20 to 30% 10 years ago. That's never going to change. Okay, so it was like that before. They have basic concept numbers like that. They want to bring in every expansion like hitting 20% cast speed. The thing I don't like is that in the beginning, it always feels slow and clunky, right? It feels like you're going through puberty every single time a new expansion comes out. Every time. So like I've been stacking, I didn't need to put this in, but I'm using it to kind of as a measuring. Because, okay, this seems like it's going to be too small here. That's not what she said. All right. I stacked haste big time. Like I might have gone overboard with it on my mage because it was so slow. And in the beginning, the stats are smaller than later on in the expansion. And so that's what I did. This comes over maybe just does it? His eyes need to get bigger. Well, I don't even have eyes in, so what am I talking about? It's like I'm sympathetic to their problem. They want to. It's a progression game. The problem is that when you start new content, you need to go back down and then progress back up. And that's not fun. It's a progression game, so it's just like rip a band-aid off, make you weak, and then you need to get strong again. It's the same thing over and over again. And it doesn't feel good, and it feels slow and clunky. Like I said, it's slow. The cast times, all this stuff. Your global cooldowns longer for everything. Every new expansion, you reset to the real shitter build and work yourself up to 20. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. And I'm tired of it. But I still pay for the game, play, and then I'll bitch and complain about it like I do here. Just like I did with this. I knew what problems I was going to run into if I didn't fix it in Photoshop. Does that stop me from complaining about it? No, it doesn't. Not at all. Bring that down. Not at all. Not at all. I'm a master at complaining about everything. That's what we do. That's what we do. Hmm. The reference is a painting, right? It is. It is. I corrected the perspective in it. It was taken at this crazy angle. I corrected the perspective, but I did not have the actual size of the painting. So I couldn't then rescale the painting to the right size. Sometimes when you do, it makes it like wider, or it's going to make it, you know, a little bit shorter. That's going to make it different. So I'm just looking at trying to understand the guy's facial structure at this angle and trying to do the corrections, right? Because as it is, my face is too wide. And that's something I actually I'll probably end up fixing that. I think it's too wide. It doesn't look too wide on stream. The shape looks off on stream, definitely, but on stream because the camera angle, it's at an angle. It's not, I'm facing straight on here. The camera's coming from the side, so it's a little bit squished for you guys. It looks better than it actually is. In fact, it looks closer on the stream than it does in real life. Yeah, I'm complaining about complaining. Exactly. I see how many times I can do it. That's what I do. I find fulfillment in my life when I do this. Why doesn't the client just use this original painting? So that painting is somewhere, and I don't know where it is. And we have like the library here that documented this. This is the only painting we can find. If you look up Peter Mood Sr., I think his name's Sr., Peter Mood Sr., you look him up. This is the picture that, I think this picture is like the best one that comes up. We went over to the library and my client said, yes, they have a very high quality image over there. So I said, okay, well, good. An image, right? They have a professional picture. All it was this same image, except taken at an angle. Except it was one of these files that was like a TIFF or something, right? Where it was like 100 megabytes and it didn't have to be. So I took that and obviously reduced it down in size, turned it into JPEG, fixed the, did what I did with it, right? Did what I did with it. So I might thin the face up just a little bit, maybe just a little bit, see how this goes. But yeah. Do you like the villain of The War Within? I think she looks really budget, and also don't like the protagonist. No. So what I like is, do you remember back in Warcraft 2 and 3, did you ever play it then? There's just simple orcs and humans and, kind of like old school D&D, and they're just like ripped and just killing things, chopping heads off. That's what I like. This chick is hot. She is. But to have her as the main villain, and I think there are a lot of people, and maybe it is a good story. I'm sure it probably is a good story. And to be fair, I haven't really kept up with it because I guess now I'm biased. I'm kind of like you. I'm kind of lost a lot of. I don't really care anymore about the story because they've just chickified it so much or done whatever with it where it's not interesting to me. Yeah, I don't like it, but I like the stuff that's more old school D&D or or just like savage, right? More medieval. It doesn't need to be so fantasy. But it feels like Warcraft, they kind of turned it into this like, it's okay if we're all different as long as we listen to each other and work together and slash furries. That's what it feels like they've turned it into. So with the story, that's how I now look at it. And they've done this. I didn't do it. They did this. All right, Tyrannica, I'll see ya, man. Yeah, when you get rich, should be soon, with all your schemes. I'll see you, man. That's also a thing in the trailer. It says villains always look good as fuck, and in the cutscenes they take these really budget shit models like Sylvanas, which look terrible compared. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. I guess you're right. I'm not sure how much I really. Yeah, I guess that they do that. They try to. They're very good at the animation part. They are Crypto. Yeah, they're good at the animation, and the story always feels like they're trying to preach some agenda to me recently. Not always. And I'm not one of these people who sees, like, I think that is in a lot of things nowadays. Like, you learn to spot it. And I'm tired of it. And it's not that they've done it, they haven't always done it in the past, but I can say specifically in the last, I would say 5 years, hard, Dragonflight, like that story plot, it was just them discussing their feelings the entire time. It was horrible. It was horribly done. They would just not they would stop telling a story in the middle of them telling a story half the time. And I'm not one of these people who's like all into the lore and this and that. But I do want the game to be like an escape from reality and something cool, and it's just not cool. You know, for me, that's not the type of thing I like. Those trailers are just so misleading. You think you get those gorgeous miles in this. Yeah, I can see that. I can see that. Yeah, I agree with that. Um, yeah, but that's the other thing. So like we can complain about that, but really it does hurt them when you're talking about like abuse of say marketing. So when somebody markets something and you get something because you think that's what you're getting and then it's not that. Well, they're looking saying, "Oh, success, we sold this." But that person's not coming back. Probably. And I'm sure there's a lot of that. But I watched a video this morning actually. It was Asmongold, and he was reacting. I don't know the man's name. It's this Asian guy. I don't know who is a streamer. Fix these eyes. I'm just placing them. Anyway, but he was talking about Sven from Larian Studios, and they got another reward or award. And it was like I forgot which one it was, but it was for Baldur's Gate 3. And so he stood up there and he actually spoke. And he spoke about integrity in games and how it needs to be done for creativity, and all these other things with it. And one of the problems is that when these game companies get a publisher, those publishers then step in and try to design the games for them, and that's when you get all this stuff that you and I don't like, game design and this and that. Whereas a lot of the game, the actual developers and perhaps even the lead designers of the games don't want that stuff, even though they're going through and trying to promote it because that's their job, but they don't like it either. That's why you have these indie companies, that aren't beholden to their publishers, and there's now a lot of successful games, and just because they're trying to do creative things that haven't been done, and their hearts are in it. And sometimes you're going to fail, but oftentimes you succeed. When you succeed, that's how the money comes in. He says, when these people, they want to do it just for the money, right? And you cannot have, like, most of the time you're not going to have a good game because of that, right? It has to be something inspired. And then the money will be a product that comes from that, from your hard work. But that's not like successful people, for example, they don't do things for the money. And people will scoff at them and say, well, of course it's easy to say because they're successful, right? And maybe that's not true, but I'm saying like, some people do things for money or whatever, but really truly successful people love what they're doing, and then the money's a byproduct of it. Not in-game footage, because this stuff is so misleading. Don't they ever say now, I don't know, man. But I'm with you on that. But my point being is that, like, how you've been treated and like how people have been treating these games, hopefully, like, this stuff is starting to become obvious to a lot of people now, especially with Baldur's Gate and all that stuff. So I don't know. Hopefully people make some changes with it. That's my point. But he got up there and said a lot of solid things to a group of people, and he has the game to back it up now, which is good. So there's a lot of good stuff happening. But yeah, I'm with you on that. I mean, I get tired of a lot of the antics as well, man. I mean, I hear you on this. That's not it. Just there. See. This is a tricky one. This is tricky. Spock. I don't want to Spockify him. It's tricky stuff. I'll bring that over some. So these small changes that I'm doing, I'm trying to see the big shape of everything too. So this is why I'm, look, with the pencil drawings, all this stuff that everybody does, this is like keeping this in the blocking stage. And that's my point. Like, I'll keep it at this stage until I can lock this in. Then you go in and you can continue correcting the drawing, but with color. And it looks, if you do it right, it looks like you're always detailing it, but you're really, in your mind, I might be doing this to correct something small here. It looks like I'm detailing, but I'm doing it because this shape right here is wrong. So I'm, in essence, looking at the whole thing and correcting a large shape. In my head, it's a large shape, but it's a small thing that needs to be corrected. It looks like I'm detailing, but I'm not thinking that. But it's happening naturally with this. But there's things that need to change all over this one. But that's the nature of working in this manner. Drop down some, but I could. This is too small, I think. I think stepping back. Let me think about what I've done. Ooh, here's a dilemma. So I have the nose going this way, but this seems that it was moved that way. So maybe that makes the nose seem like it's going this way. So maybe the angle of the nose needs to come up. This piece needs to go that way, which will enlarge in this a little bit here. This is why you need a good reference. Real life, reality is always better, but alas, he has been dead for many a year. Damn it. fix it. Easy. Okay, let's do what I said I was going to do. Squint. Minor changes. Enlarge. This is going down here. Maybe that comes over just a little bit. But I don't want it going over too far for fear of it going to the perspective warp. Perspective warp is bad. There, subtle. Now, go over just a little bit. This might make it look not good. And then make this more a little bit straight up and down. Just bring that over just ever so slightly. And then we're going to bring this up some. Okay, bring that up and then I'll shape that afterwards. No, we're not done with Twitch. I have a plan. I have a good plan. Very good plan. Let's see how that looks. I don't know if I like that. Maybe I bring this over some. Maybe I just bring this over just a little bit more. See how that looks. The bottom part. There. This is tricky. You should join one of those earning calls. Bring that up. Maybe if that made it worse. Earning calls sometimes they discuss all about how they currently milk you and how they plan to milk you in the future. And I don't want to. It'll just make me angry. Plus, I didn't buy that mount that they sold. But I don't begrudge people who did. I mean, it's bullshit. Anyway. Down. Squint. Mouth. Brought the nose over, but I didn't bring the mouth over some. I'll bring this over here. This one was probably close because I had made it a little short to begin with. Let's take that out some. Yeah, take the magic out of it, but that's all that matters to them, really. All the pretty art is just to get those numbers. I mean, there are people who are passionate about the game who work there. And what Sven said is that what you're talking about kills the creativity in the game. It kills the artists and all this stuff. So you're right. Those publishers, this is how they look at it. It's a numbers game. And he spoke out against it. And so it was very refreshing to... It's being said and it's seen. Let's put it that way. And my hope is, like, this is why it's good to have competition. Right? Is because, like, if you don't have competition, you are not going to worry about losing your dollars to other companies, right? And that's how I look at it. So I think what's happening is a lot of these other companies, the indie companies, are starting to step up and take the players away from the AAAs. And at some point, they're going to have to face that reality. I think that's what's going to happen, but dude, I don't know. I'm not an expert with this stuff. I probably don't. There's so much more going on. But But QFX, I'm with you, man. I get tired of this stuff too. I mean, really, dude. What is this? Okay, being stupid. Okay, that eye. This comes up. That's coming up. This piece there. That's just the toxic circle of being a publicly traded company. You need to have growing earnings, or the investors are going to dump your stock and look for better opportunities. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's the problem. It is the problem, because a lot of those people, they're not in it for the long haul. They're in it to make quick money and to get out. And so they don't care about the company, you know? And which is the frustration. You're frustrated because you had something that you loved, and you're watching it just like, so it's so unnecessary, but it's getting destroyed. You know, and you're like, why is this happening? It's so obvious. Well, you know, this stuff is kind of coming to light. It was probably obvious before to more savvy of us, which I'm not, because I don't, for as much as I talk, I'm not into it as much as that. But it is frustrating to think about these things. But I think, I mean, there's always that pendulum, right? It seems to be swinging the other way to a point now, which is good. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. It's tricky. Everything. I'm going to drop this. I mean, just notice how many times I've gone over this, like one area, right? It takes, so this is why you take your time with things. And I'm going to come back and work on this again. One second, let me check something. To put on a front porch, if she can come now. I have someone who needs a high chair. To put on a front porch, if she can come now. Sure, that's great. Oh my gosh. Okay. It's not just Blizz Activision problem though. Lots of those big companies that were cool years ago lost and they grown. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a big problem. But anyway, it was a good video. I really like Sven. That guy is solid. He's pretty good. Sven. I need to get bigger. This stuff, as long as I get in the ballpark, I don't need to like do every single detail. Dang it. But so like the longer you spend at the stage and the closer you get, the more fun it's going to be to actually start putting the color in, because you're going to have to change less, right? But it can be very tedious, because you might be thinking, oh, well, if I just started putting the color in, then I could fix these things. And It's true, and you want to keep on fixing when you add the color in, but oftentimes it can make things more complicated. Right? It's good if you can get that solid base, that foundation, and then go from there. This was here. This is coming here. Here. Okay, I see what's happening. Soften this. It's very subtle stuff that's happening. It's a little bit better. Little bit better. Like Hasbro Wizards of the Coast, man. They're just printing cards till they have no more value anymore. Yeah, I know, man. It's how it is. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. It sucks. But, you know, I think there are a lot of game designers and developers that are starting to notice this, you know, and there's a lot of competition now for games, which is good. That's a good thing. So, you know, that means other games won't be able to get away with as much as they have in the past. The image is this big. Here, let me zoom in some. Actually, that would help. Should have done that before. It's small. It's still a small image. This is almost site size. Did you play Magic the Gathering back then? No, I've never played Magic or Dungeons and Dragons or anything like that. Nothing like that. Give me a second, guys. I need to eat. Haven't eaten. I feel it. It's 4:30. A little bit longer on this. I'm going to try to push this a little bit more. I like the size that I've done this. Let me show you what I've done here. I'm going to put it straight on and I'll put it right back. And I'll try to make it so that I don't need to. So this is actually it. One second. Losing main camera just for a second. Just for a second. There we go. Right there. Let me focus it and I'll get it right back. So this is the size that I have it. There we go. Dude, this is the size right here. So just to give you an idea. Boom. This is it. Let me do this. This is the size I'm working on. So I just wanted to position this correctly. The shoulder is obviously going off. I want to make sure the face was positioned properly. Right here, right? Positioned properly. With the shoulder going off slight bit, that's not really a problem because it's going to be a dark background anyway, but it's not over too far. The head is, I wanted it to be large enough for this, you know, for this board right here. This is birchwood. Highest ranking dungeon master. Yeah, with how much I talk, how nerdy I sound, I'm sure it's a shock to know that I haven't played before. But yeah, that's what we're working with here. So it's, as you can, maybe you can see, I'm working on trying to fix that warp right here. The head in the painting seems like it's going over, like it's kind of doing some weird thing like that. And I fixed the perspective from corner to corner, everything, but I wonder if the painter actually painted it correctly. That's my thing, because it just, so I'm fixing it to make it look like, if I saw him on the street, I wouldn't say mutant. That's my goal. I think it's a noble goal. So anyway, let me get the camera back on. I'll continue this. So I have probably about 10, 15 more minutes painting, and then I'm gonna take off. It's not bad. Excuse me. Don't mean to be yawning. We get the camera right back. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Let me just focus. It's good. Main camera coming back. Wait. Did I set it? I set it. It's set. It has to be set. Yeah, it's set. We're good. And then we start putting the color in and such. And then we continuously correct the drawing. We always correct the drawing. Always. Yeah, he might. He is. He's probably a little bit wide. You're correct. Yeah. Yeah, he might be a little bit wide. He might be a little bit wide. Like I said, I'm making modifications in the painting. The reference painting, from this point to there, going from here, this should be over here. That should move over some. From here, this point should be over some too. So essentially, I shifted it up, and maybe it is a little bit too wide. This seems a little bit big, but I want, yeah, I don't know. I'll fix it. We'll figure this out. I think what I might have done is, in fixing this, I might have brought that out too far and just made it a little bit too wide. That might be what happened. Like, it might be this. Because I think this is okay. I think this, if I brought that in some, it might help. Maybe. This drawing is incorrect up there. All right, fix a couple things that I see. And then we have the nose. The bridge of the nose needs to shift just a little bit. I lost the drawing. Again, I have gone over this like a million times, literally a million times. Literally. I remember one year in the NFL, the announcers, sports announcers, kept on saying literally for everything. And so they could have said, they literally ripped the guy's head off. But it wasn't like literally. They were just saying, wow, he like, you know, something happened, something crazy happened. They kept on saying literally, literally, literally. I might be, my eyes getting a little bit old now. It might be good to stop soon. Cut that in just a little bit. Cut this in. And then this part. I'm going to bring this over just a little bit. When will you be back to take your dad? Hey Siri. Text message mom. I'll be home probably around 5:10. Did you like my Warframe submission? I did. I did. I like that you're doing that type of stuff. It makes me proud. Yes, I did. Cut that in just a little bit, even though I don't see this. And maybe. Okay. I don't want to go much more than that right now. But let me change the angle of the ear some. This comes out just. There we go. And for my first class, those weren't half bad. I mean, you have potential. You have potential. Everything's always drawing. Any issue I have here, well, at this stage is obviously it's going to be drawn. This is going to come out just a little bit more, maybe. This piece coming up, that's there. This is coming up some. Here. I lost the form up in the brow on his left. You tell everyone they have potential. There's no one you said you have zero potential. But it's true so far. And if I don't think somebody has potential, I don't really say it necessarily. But I also, you know, to be honest with you, oftentimes the people who do the best are the people who aren't like really trained, right? And so, like, my student Brian, for example, he was never trained, but he's made huge leaps in his work since we started, right? But if you saw his work in the beginning, you would have said, there's no way. But I've seen people progress dramatically before, especially at the Florence Academy. I saw it all the time. So I think most people have a lot of potential. M, what's up? You got the name M. Congratulations. That's a hard name to get. All right. I did this background thing where it's the brightest, where it's the darkest. Wait, thing where it's the brightest, where it's the darkest on the face, and I think it turned out well. Did you post it? Did I see this? Sometimes I miss things. His eyes are lining up right. I do not think they are. Let's bring this up just a little bit. Just a little bit. This one. I'm just going to bring down this middle part. You did? Okay, I'll have to check it out. time you're going home. Everybody's texting me all of a sudden, like my family. They're wanting to know where I am. Try to call to see what time you're going to be home. I would be there until 4:45 because we're. Out. So, okay. There's that. Okay, got that. Good. Okay. Your Warframe submission. Oh, that. I'll have to take a look at it again. Okay. In my mind, it's starting to look like him, but I know I'm going to come in here. Here's what happens. Whenever I'm doing this, and I am out of practice, like I always am these days. I'm always out of practice. But when okay, this angle is wrong. I'll come in tomorrow. I'll see all these mistakes that I couldn't see right now. And I'll be embarrassed that I streamed it. It happens every time. Every single time this happens. I still get on the stream. Because I don't really care. I don't. It's good. It keeps you sharp. Does look like him. I just think the arms look way too buff. You're talking about the arms? I thought you were talking about the face, jerk. So I actually thinned the face out, thinking it's something that I think it actually did need to thin out a little bit. And I didn't really change that much, but whatever. I pay attention. Oh shoot! I think I just screwed something up. No. Yes. Whatever. The face is good. You think? See, I'm gonna have to put a lot in it that's not in the actual photograph. So I have to come up with the color. The form is I got to come up with the form. That's gonna be rough. Forms, cools, correcting the perspective of the drawing. The hair. Hair, I think I can do. My goal is to make it look like he was sitting here for us. That's my goal. It's a lofty goal with something like this. But lofty goal was my porn name, actually, when I was a major porn star back on Twitch. You're gonna keep him back in white or go color? Oh, go in color. Color, yeah. Go in color. One color. I put a little bit of cobalt blue in the mixture too, so it should dry quicker. I do like the way it's laying down on the board though, the paint. It's better than before. I don't know if you remember, what was it? I did the landscape or something and I was painting and the paint just was like clumping up. I couldn't paint. It was weird. I don't know what I did. I think I sabotaged sabotaged it somehow in the setup. So, excuse me, the actual shoulders and stuff are like this. He's wearing a pretty big coat. So this is just black, red, and a little bit of cobalt blue to help it dry, but you can't tell there's the blue in it. Didn't do that much, and put a little bit of walnut oil just to make it malleable, but not much. Mostly this is just paint, and I've just been working, as you can see, just with a single brush, tin, Winsor & Newton hog hair, and a Viva paper towel that has seen better days. All right, I should probably get going. I've had it with this. Back on YouTube, this is good. Probably where I should have stayed to begin with. This isn't over Twitch. I have my plans. Just ordering the props, but I will be back. All right, guys, y'all are awesome. I will, I always say this, I'm gonna try to stream probably tomorrow. I'll try to stream tomorrow and continue working on this portrait. We got this portrait. I actually have 3 portraits that I have to do, 2 for this gentleman, and then another portrait actually for one of my good friends who's, somebody who's a blessed, is going to be a saint soon from New Orleans. I forget her name, but anyway, it's a solid picture. It's going to be a good portrait. You got 3 solid portraits coming up, all off photographs, but what are you going to do? It's going to be good. Anyway, QFX, everybody else, y'all are awesome. I'll see ya.